Hello and welcome. My name is Preacher. These are the pews. And today we are still hot on the heels of Nintendo because Doug Bowser, their CEO, continues to cook. I'm not going to tease you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's bring up that first image. Mind you, I say first. So first up, we have Hades 2 launching as a Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive, console exclusive. It's already out in early access on PC, but when it comes to consoles, it's gonna be on Nintendo first, and Lord knows how long. Nintendo, in my experience, is not in the business of timed exclusives. See Bayo 3, see what was that other one? I don't even know the name of it anymore. The what is it? Blue Seeds or something? Blue Gender? The one with the Platinum Games and Nintendo again. You circle them around on the Astro Chain. Blue what? Yeah, Astro Chain. That never left. There's Nintendo is not quite in the business of timed exclusivity, so I think Supergiant Games has the pull to say we're gonna eventually put our stuff elsewhere. So ball is in their court, but just historically speaking, Nintendo Switch and Nintendo themselves have not been in the business of timed exclusives in my experience. So that's pretty prominent. And it also speaks to, of course, we gonna get our hate on this channel, baby. Them Xbox pundits who've been ooh, this was so good. Because Supergiant does not need the money. They've been extremely successful in early access. I know because I bought in. I have at least 40 hours in Hades 2, and that was before their big ass update. So I know a bunch of stuff has changed. That game is phenomenal. And I played Hades 1 on the Switch, so it's right at home. That really does work. And, I'm going to get to more critical points in a moment, but I really don't want to take away the fact that Nintendo is lining up an outstanding launch lineup, an outstanding launch window lineup. I say anything in that first year is really the launch window. And they got some bangers, man. They got some real bangers coming out. Mario Kart looks great. Donkey Kong looks great. They got the From Software joint. Now they got Hades 2. Just those two alone are massive. Massive. So I'm not taking anything away from that. They're doing the right thing with that. But, I think this really goes to show that these Xbox guys like to take advantage of the moment. Because, of course, Nintendo's not going to be putting out a bunch of exclusive third-party games and cutting all these deals in the last, 2 years of the Switch 2. So it was easy for them to say for a good while that, hey, exclusivity is dying. People are pulling away from exclusivity. People don't want to make exclusive games. Everybody wants their game played everywhere. And now we see PlayStation has shown it over and over and over and over and over again that they very much care about exclusives, and exclusivity is a cornerstone of their business. And now Nintendo very much reaffirming that it's a cornerstone of theirs, leaving Xbox as the odd man out again. And I know we repeat these points a lot on this channel, but that's part of it. Part of it is just seeing all of this play out over and over and over and over in different ways, different scenarios, and just seeing the hypocrisy in what people say and how and how they present their information. I feel like these videos almost would go better if I give you guys more examples of people saying this stuff, because I know I nebulously say Xbox pundits. I think a lot of you guys are in this space and know who I'm talking about, but some aren't, and I think it's good to counterbalance those examples versus, I'm not making this stuff up. People are really saying this wild stuff. You know what I mean? Exclusivity is not a bad thing. It has never been a bad thing. Some of the greatest games in this medium at all are bred purely from the competition between two platform holders exclusives. Like, this stuff is important and it's not going away. It's good for third parties also. A lot of the time, the Platinum games would not have survived if they didn't have Nintendo on them in that time. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, a game that a series, I should say, that I, deeply cherish, would not be what it is if not for the Sony funding. You know what I mean? Even Xbox, Uncharted was created to compete with Gears of War. You know what I mean? This stuff is important, and it's not going anywhere. So, just the lies, just the manipulation of an audience, the manipulation of an audience by both the corporation and the AstroTurfers right underneath them, I find egregious. But so too do I find $80 games and Nintendo crashing out on greed. Because as I said last video, Doug Bowser is just in his Dutch oven bag right now. He's in the kitchen, but he is not cooking at all. Please let me show you the second Bowser quotable we're lining up here. So here we go. Doug Bowser on Nintendo Switch 2's price. Some people may not be able to afford the Switch 2's price point. That's why we wanted to make the other Switch platforms available. That is bro having a Don Metric moment. Don Metric moment. And telling you, if you don't like the Switch 2's price, you better get you a Switch 1, boy, with your broke ass. Damn, son. That is just crazy to me. You know what I mean? I had no intentions of making a video today. I stopped what I was doing when I seen this, because this is them literally crashing out. That shit's about to be way more expensive if these tariffs hold. And they're not folding for you. This is them telling you, if you can't get it, you ain't got it. That's that. Damn, man. Like, even just reading it, of course I read it before and I watched the interview he did, the exclusive interview he had with CNBC. But man, I mean, like, it's just blatant. They're telling you this is a straight greed bro, and you either gonna buy it. And this is the thing, right? In that interview that I watched, Doug Bowser says also that, they ended up having 150 million Switch installed base, right? Huge. Last year, 129 million of those were still active. Bro, that's an insane attach rate. That's an insane engagement rate. That's insane. They kept them going to the last year of the Switch, which has been very light. So, a lot of people, a lot of the hardcore audience right now is saying, I'm not going to buy this. I'm not going to buy this. I'm not going to buy this. And maybe some won't tomorrow, or the pre-order starts. So we'll see. Even motherfuckers ain't going to buy it in secret. They're going to be loud, even though it's going to prove them wrong. I mean, literally, like, run right in the face of what they just said. They'll still post it. They get this chronically online. But you got to think, man, with that many people, the hardcore, if there's one thing I've learned about this group, it's that it's not big. It's really not big. The hardcore gamer is not a large audience. The people who are funding these companies, for the most part, are casuals, right? Those 129 million don't give a fuck. they're going to say it got expensive just like everything else gets expensive. Because they don't buy all the games. They don't keep up with the news. They don't, probably even buy other systems. This is going to be their little thing for either them or Tommy and Susan, or, little daughter, little son, or whatever. And they're going to move on. I think a lot of people are still going to buy these things. I think people are in denial that we are here in the $80 game realm. We are here in the $700 PlayStation realm. We are here in the $5 Switch realm. And I don't know why motherfuckers is so shocked, to be honest, because this is the $80 games is shocking, but the system prices seem to make sense to me. That's just me. Not me defending it, just me saying what I'm seeing. And that's what I'm seeing, man. All that said, there is a large and loud contingent railing against this. I wouldn't quite call it backlash. I wouldn't quite say it's at backlash level yet, but people are saying, that it is expensive. They are acknowledging that it is greedy. But again, none of that is going to matter if tomorrow, and more importantly, June 5th, everybody has a Switch too. It just won't matter. And truthfully, it doesn't matter anyway. They just tanked the damage of it just now. They just said, no, it's going to cost this much. And the games, we're not even going to tell you how much those cost. We're not even going to tell you. I don't know. There's no reason that Smash Brothers can't be $100 based on what they just said. There's no reason. None. With microtransactions and DLC down the line. None. No reason at all. All he said about Mario Kart when they asked him why it was $80 is he said, look at it. The depth and breadth of gameplay and replayability. So we're charging $80. He didn't give you anything there. He didn't give you anything quantifiable. It's because we had to, work extra hours to implement 4K textures and raise it. No, bro. And even if they did have to do that stuff, right? That's not what he's saying. What he's saying is something nebulous and something that only he gets to measure the value of, and ultimately, but no, not only him, we get to measure the value of it with our wallets. But I just think that motherfuckers is ready to pay. But that's about all I can say on that for now. The fallout of the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal continues. This is not how I saw this going. But as I've said over and over, the last 18 months have been interesting. And it very much continues today. But I'm going to get out of here. Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to etch your own thoughts into the pews down below. And until next time, my friends, I am Preacher, and I hope to see you back here on the pews.